Are ya? I hope everybody's having a positive, peaceful, productive day today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that today. I'll pray that He clothes us in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens our discernment and guides our steps as we go throughout this day. It's looking like our lives are going to have to start being of an evening time instead of in the morning. Current time right now is 4:36 p.m. Today is July 7th. Yes, Monday, July 7th, 2025. So we're going to get our mantra and then we'll get into our affirmations. I hope everybody's doing well. I've missed being here. I'm glad that my schedule is finally balanced out so that I can be here. All right. Today, I'm going to fall in love with all the little taken for granted that makes this world so wild and dynamic. The planetary design team really went all out on this one. Has not been that long since we saw that one. Embracing all the little things that we normally take for granted, remembering how much we really have to be thankful for, just waking up every day, having the opportunity to try again, finding happiness and joy in all the little things that this life has to offer. The examples that it gives on the card: trees, flowers, clouds, hills, gentle breezes, touch screen technology. All right, so we're going to get our grief affirmation for the day. I hope everybody's doing well. I really do. All right. The reality is that you will grieve forever. You will not get over the loss of a loved one. You will learn to live with it. You will heal and you will rebuild yourself around the loss you have suffered. You will be whole again, but you will never be the same. Nor should you be the same, nor would you want to be. And that is a quote from Elizabeth Kimbler Ross. Hello, Gabriel. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Many blessings your way. All right, now we're going to get a chakra affirmation. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great day. This is definitely not my usual time, but it's looking like it's going to have to start being the usual time. So we're just going with the flow, and I'm appreciative that you guys are stopping by. Thank you for being here. Remember to fall in love with all the little taken for granted that this world has to offer. All those little things that hello, hi. I hope you're having a great day today. Romeo. Let's see, Landon. I'm sorry, it starts with a K. I can't pronounce your name. All right, let's get a chakra wisdom affirmation. Costa Rica, hello. Good to see you. I've made it through the first week of the new job, and I'm trying to get back on track and be here. All right, we got fourth chakra, heart chakra, generosity. I'm a gamer. Okay, I'm not a gamer myself, but I do know a lot of gamers. My brother, his boys, my son, his dad, they're all gamers. I've dated a lot of gamers in my lifetime as well. All right, we'll get our incense lit for our chakra, which the heart chakra, that is jasmine. Aw, thank you so much. I needed to hear that today. Thank you. We should all feel beautiful each and every day. We all have beauty in us, even if it's not physical beauty. We're all beautiful in our own ways. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's been a good day. It's been a good week. It's nice to be back to work. Thank you very much, Romeo. I appreciate it. I had been out of work for quite some time due to my ankle injury, so it's nice to get back to work, and my ankle is slowly but surely healing. I actually have a doctor's appointment this week about it, so hopefully it will continue to heal, and I can continue to be mobile. All right, generosity is our affirmation for the day. Generosity is sharing. I give myself freely and I am open to opportunities to do so. I do this because I can and I expect nothing in return. Speaking from the heart will let those around me know how I feel about them. My generosity will touch another person's heart and replenish their spirit. Through love, I have a positive, spontaneous, and lasting influence on the healing and transformation of both myself and others. Most definitely. Where am I from? I'm in Tennessee, USA. Being generous not only with your time, but your kindness, your love. Sometime I talk about it here often. Most of the time, just giving somebody your time, whether it's a few minutes, a few hours, it can go such a long way in making their day better, even making your day better. Speaking kind words to people, being generous, materialistically, if that is the need that you are able to fill. It can, of course, material things don't necessarily create happiness, but they can help reinforce it. You know what I mean? When we're all struggling, or when anybody is struggling, it makes it hard to embrace those little things. Whether it's a smile to a random stranger in a parking lot, holding the door for somebody that's, physically challenged. Those little acts of kindness go so far, and it's important that we remember that. Remember to treat people how we want to be treated. If we were hurting, or, if we were in need, we would want somebody else to be able to fill that need for us. And it's important to remember that and to be that for others when it's possible. Wow, look at that. Divine timing flew right out of the deck of the Wild Offering Oracle. And then we got contentment as well. Being content with what you have, being content with what life has to offer. Yes, having expectations, but also being flexible with those expectations. Appreciating what comes your way, even if it's not what you expect. All right, divine timing. The divine brings things in the timing that we need. Nothing comes before we're prepared, nor leaves too early. May I always trust your perfect and holy timing, dear divine. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for stopping by. All right, and then we got contentment. Right now in my area, it is 4:43 p.m. So not too far from you, Romeo. All right, contentment. You can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly you remember, I am right here resting in the divine. So being content with what you have, not giving up on what you want, appreciating what you have, but striving for more. My country pack is 3 a.m. Wow. Okay. Yeah, on a completely, it's dark where you're at. It's starting to get dark here. The crickets are starting to chirp. It rained a little bit earlier, which unfortunately it didn't really cool it off, but it did rain a little bit here. So you're a night owl. That goes right along with the gamer personality for sure. All right, now we'll pull from the Affirmators deck. Self-help without all the self-helpiness. We can always use a little bit more encouragement, a little bit of self-help. Yeah, sure, I am a gamer. I used to have late nights like that, but my schedule has gotten completely flipped around. Now I'm waking up at 3 a.m. instead of going to bed at 3 a.m. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be back to work. It helps me feel better about myself. It helps restore my energy and You know, I feel a lot more productive. Although there's plenty to do around here, I enjoy being, you know, part of society. I was kind of an introvert for a while, a recluse per se. All right, now we'll get an affirmation from the Affirmators deck. Connection is what flipped over with penguins, ups and downs on the bottom of the deck, and communication on the top of the deck. We got communication last time, and I'm pretty sure we got the ups and downs last time. I didn't look at them before I put them back. I should have. All right, connection. I am connected to the multitudes, and I can access their support at any time. Even a stranger offers a sense of comfort when they smile at me or make a dumb comment about the weather. Everyone is waiting to connect. All I need to do is open myself up and pay attention. Note to self, work on witty banter about weather-related stuff. Yeah, that goes back to what I was just talking about. And especially now that I've kind of re-entered society, I experience that on a daily basis. Some people just need you to be kind. We talked about it on the last pull about, you know, not letting other people's energy affect your energy. Even if somebody's having a bad day and they're taking it out on you, don't take it personally. I know that's easier said than done, but react with kindness and sympathy and empathy instead of out of anger or frustration, or, you know, don't give them what they give you. Give them kindness in return. All right, then we got ups and downs. It's a picture of a frog bungee jumping. I see life as an incredible ride, and I'm lucky to be on it. Yes, the ups and downs make me want to puke sometimes, but there are also what makes things fun and interesting. And when you look back, even puking on yourself makes for a good story. Making those memories, you know, I always say life is like a roller coaster, you know, embracing those ups and downs, learning the lessons that can be learned with whatever you're going through. All right, and then we have communication. Wonder how that other person's feeling. Ask them. Wish they knew how you were feeling. Tell them. You've just been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask, do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will make asses of everyone, including the person who came up with the aphorism. Okay, I am Share Your Life is Facebook page. There should be a link to my Facebook page on the main page of the channel in the description of the channel. I didn't put any links in the description box for this live, but all my information is in the About section of this channel. And yes, I do have a Facebook page. And actually, I have another YouTube channel as well. And the link for that is there also. All right. Now we'll pull from the Namaste deck, the Stress Less deck. Last time we got pay attention to your posture. Whether that's your physical posture, your spiritual posture, your emotional posture. Good posture improves oxygen flow through your body and strengthens your core. All right, this is the Namaste Stress Less deck. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. This is an unusual time for me to be on, but I don't know. It kind of boosted my energy a little bit as soon as I came on today. So it's been I think it's been about a week since I've done a video. So it's nice to be back. All right. Namaste. Stress less. We all need a little less stress in our lives. A lot of times we get stressed out about things that aren't even worthy of our energy. Examine your surroundings. Come to look at things with fresh eyes. A baby doesn't look at their surroundings as being good or bad. She looks upon her world as being interesting. Renew your thoughts again. Don't label what you see. Just take interest and find amazement. When there is nothing to categorize or label, you will feel free of prejudice and stress. You will feel peace and wonder. Okay. All right. Definitely. Going back to what I just said, sometimes the things that we stress and worry about, they, a month, 6 months, a year from now, they're not even going to matter. Be aware of the people not that you surround yourself with, but the environments that you put yourself in. Don't surround yourself with people that are going to cause drama and strife in your life, because that's just going to increase your stress levels for sure. All right, now we're going to pull from the Angels of Abundance deck. Last time we got conscious consumer, positivity, faith, optimism, and then sever vows of poverty. Being aware of your thoughts, how your thoughts affect not only your day-to-day life, but the outcome of certain situations in life. Having faith, remaining optimistic, even in times of trials and tribulations. Keep the faith. Try to look at it from a different perspective. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, Angels of Abundance. Face your financial fears. Donations, tithing, and charitable work on the bottom of the deck. And declutter. All right, face your financial fears. When you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness. And you'll realize that you, in fact, have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. So if you're struggling financially, which I know a lot of us in the world are, it's not uncommon. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It's important to not let fear of financial struggle hold you back. Even if it is limiting in some ways, don't let that affect who you are as a person. Don't let that cause you to leave your dreams and goals in the dark. It may take you longer to get there, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. Have faith and optimism in yourself, and have faith in the universe, your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High. Let your needs be known. Communicate your needs, whether that's to the people around you, your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, whoever that is. Let your needs be known so that solutions can be found, especially when it comes to financial. All right, then we got donations, tithing, and charitable work. Can I sleep now? It won't be long till I go to sleep, but of course you can sleep now if you want to. But don't sleep on your dreams, on your goals, on your affirmations. Don't sleep on yourself. All right. Give joyfully to the organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you. And know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money, and other resources you donate will ensure that your positive energy multiplies. We talk about that here a lot. What you put out is what comes back to you. Being greedy, being stingy, you're not when you are greedy and stingy, especially with money, or material things, where you're hoarding things that you don't necessarily need, that you know other people need, that's going to put bad energy out. And eventually that bad energy is going to come back to you. All right, then we got declutter. You'll feel better and more focused if you'll take time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. Very much lining up with the donations, tithing, and charitable work. You know, a lot of us hold on to things that we don't need. We buy things that we don't need. And it just clutters our space. And when you're in a cluttered space, a lot of times you have a cluttered mind as well. And when you're in a cluttered energy, whether that's mentally or physically, it can cause issues in other areas of your life. I embraced the minimalistic lifestyle a long time ago. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm doing it 100%, but definitely, I have decluttered my life as a whole a lot in the last, I guess, 2, 3 years. It's not something that you have to do all at once, but it's something that I would definitely encourage anybody that, is struggling to get your footing in life. It's a good practice to have. Go through your closet, get rid of clothes that you don't wear anymore, that don't fit anymore. Go through your kitchen and get rid of pots and pans and things that you have multiple, that you don't really need that many. Now, of course, depending on how much you cook, you may need that many, but it's important to let go of things that you no longer need. But be it that physical possessions, people, places, environments, letting go of things that no longer serve you. All right, now we're going to pull from our angel number deck. Last time we got 404, mind energy, 504, one day at a time, and 3737, comfort zones. Our comfort zones are a safe place for us to be, but sometimes it does us good to break free of those comfort zones. Embrace new things, new people, new environments, new situations. And something that I just realized, our Angel of Abundance cards definitely lined up with our heart chakra affirmation, generosity. Declutter, donations, tithing, and charitable work, and face your financial fears. Very much lining up with our heart chakra. Generosity is sharing. I give myself freely, and I am open to opportunities to do so. I do this because I can, and I expect nothing in return. All right, angel numbers. That card does not want to stay up there, and that's way too many. I'm just going to put all these right back in. Our mantra card does not want to stay up there today. I changed, something that I knew but had forgotten about and now remember again. When it gets warm weather and you're using your air conditioning, you got to change the direction of your ceiling fans. And so I did that the other day, and keeps blowing our mantra card down. Today, I'm going to fall in love with all the little taken for granted that this life has to offer. All right, the two that fell out, 3111, be prepared, and 2, relationships. We got 7722 on the bottom of the deck, ask for help. We were just talking about that. And then 1818, meant for success, on the top of the deck. We also, the relationship, the number 2, very much lines up with the affirmators card that we got, the connection card. Embracing new connections, new relationships that come into your life. That doesn't necessarily mean love relationships, but just relationships in general. I know. Once I get the laptop, they won't be backwards anymore. All right. Number 2, relationships, community, partnership, connection, support, friendship, and new beginnings. Reflect on your roles in your relationships. This card may be signaling that you need the support of a community to overcome a challenge. What were we just talking about? Or that you're ready to embrace new friendships or a meaningful partnership. Very much lining up with everything that we've already gotten out here so far. In what ways can I strengthen my current relationships or open myself to new connections? Reach out to someone today who could use your support or explore a new social opportunity that aligns with your values. Putting yourself out there to make new connections. Knowing that all relationships, all connections are meant to be romantic, but they're also not meant to last a lifetime. Some people come into our lives just for a season, whether it's for us to teach them something or offer some kind of assistance, or vice versa, for them to teach us something and offer us some kind of assistance. Very much lining up with the 7722, ask for help. Support, guidance, connection, vulnerability, community, and trust. Triple confirmation on the connection. Remember, no one succeeds alone. It's okay to seek guidance and support. Embrace the strength found in community and don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it. In what areas of my life am I trying to manage everything alone? How can I reach out for support? Identify one person or resource you can turn to today for guidance or support, and take the step to reach out. And remember that doesn't necessarily mean physical support. That could mean spiritual support as well, emotional support. It doesn't necessarily always come down. Good night. I hope you rest well. It doesn't always come down to material things. And asking for help doesn't necessarily mean just asking somebody here in the physical world. Reaching out to your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, the Most High, praying about it, meditating about it, really doing some introspection to find out, where is an area in your life where you're trying to do it all by yourself and it just hasn't been working. Don't be so prideful that you are not willing to ask for help. Pride comes before the fall. Eventually, if it's pride that is holding you back, that pride will be your downfall. All right, then we got 3111. Be prepared. Focus, preparation, trust, communication, double confirmation on the communication. Look at that. Very much lining up with what we've already talked about so far today. Adaptability and decision making. Stay focused on your goals. Even when challenges arise, keep an open mind, budget wisely, and trust yourself to make the best decisions. What was I talking about? This life is a roller coaster. We never, we can prepare and we can plan and we can map it all out, but that doesn't mean that our expectations are going to be met. 9 times out of 10, things are not going to play out the way we expect them to, the way we want them to. Yes, some things may match up, but it's important to remain flexible, to go with the flow, to be adaptable, and to be prepared for that. It's not always easy, for sure, but it's important. And the more we can learn to do that, to just go with the flow, it will really declutter our mind and help us be content with where we are in life. I'm not saying it's not important to have goals, but it's important to also live life and enjoy all the little taken for granteds that this life offers us. Let's ring the bell on that one. Amen. Hallelujah. All the above. All right. What steps can I take today to prepare myself for unexpected challenges? How can I maintain focus on my goals despite distractions? I think I read that already, but that's okay. Create a plan or checklist for any upcoming projects or decisions. Be adaptable and trust your instincts when unforeseen changes occur. Just because it's something that we didn't expect or something that we weren't prepared for doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's those most unexpected moments that bring us so many opportunities, happy memories, happy outcomes. Just because it's something that we didn't expect doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be something bad. All right, then we have 1818, meant for success. Success, purpose, change, prosperity, life path, and transformation. A major change is coming, and while it may feel disruptive, it's guiding you toward success. Embrace this shift, as it will lead to your purpose and financial prosperity. Soon, the reasons for this change will become clear, revealing your true path. What changes are you facing? How can you embrace them to align with success? Prepare yourself for upcoming changes by setting clear goals and staying focused on your purpose. Embrace the shifts as opportunities for growth and success, and be open to discovering new paths. I'm just going to give an example, from my own life. When I started this new job, I didn't necessarily have any expectations, but I didn't plan on it turning me into an early riser. So it very much shifted my routine. I went from, sleeping until about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning to waking up at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So was that an easy change to make? Definitely not. It's still not easy. I'm still working on it. But that being said, me being flexible, me being open to that change has opened an opportunity that I didn't expect. I just expected a part-time kind of get me by job until I get my ankle fixed and, until things get better in my life. But it ended up turning into a full-time job with a lot more benefits than I expected. So, like I said, just because it's unexpected doesn't mean it's a bad thing. All right, now we're going to pull from the Celestial Insights deck. Last time we got Trust, Observe, Gratitude, Emotion, and Test. This is just a test. That came up. We talked about that when we got that card last time. If you're in an area, if you're in an area where you have nuclear facilities, you have those sirens. But even without the sirens, they used to do it on TV and they still do it on the radio where they say, this is just a test of the emergency broadcast system, and we are all tested in different ways all throughout our life. And in reality, there's no right or wrong answer, but you do have the easier and the harder. A lot of times if we are making our decisions for the wrong reasons, or if we're making decisions that aren't in our highest good, it can delay us. It can cause pain, it can cause confusion, it can cause heartache. So it's important to really, as I say so often, practice the pause and really connect with yourself and make sure that the decisions that you're making those decisions based on what's best for you and based on what's going to give you a positive outcome. All right, celestial insights. Healing. Reconciliation on the bottom of the deck. And yes, on the top of the deck. So, we already have relationships, connection, divine timing out here on the board. Healing. You are in the process of healing. Give yourself the time and space you need. Have you been neglecting your emotional or physical health? Prioritize self-care and allow yourself to recover fully. So no matter what it is that you need to heal from, whether it's an emotional wound, a physical wound, a financial wound, allow yourself to heal from that. Really prioritize yourself. Going back to what, I don't know if I've got a hair stuck in my eyelashes or if it's an actual eyelash. Being generous with yourself, not just with the people around you, but with yourself. All right, then we got reconciliation. It may be time to reconcile with someone or something. There it is. I got it. Is there an unresolved issue weighing on you? Taking the first step toward peace will bring inner tranquility and strengthen your future relationships. Reconciliation really could be with yourself, reconnecting with who you really are, what you really want to do and become, and, embracing who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the painful. When you talk about healing yourself so that you can reconcile, that you can reconnect with who you were before the hurt happened, whatever kind of hurt that is. Not being afraid to communicate the fact that you need help in that area. For a lot of us, especially if we're, strong and independent and, a little bit stubborn, it's hard for us to admit that we can't do something. No matter what that is. Healing, loving, growing, building, whatever it is. It's hard for, it's hard for us to admit that. And sometimes that's what we need the most, is to be able to admit that we can't do it on our own. All right, and then we got yes. The answer to your question is yes. Have you been hesitant about a decision? The universe is giving you a clear sign to move forward. Trust this path. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust your decision-making abilities. A lot of times, especially, sorry, I'm trying to find somewhere to put this. Especially if, we've made bad decisions in the past, we can struggle to trust our own decision-making abilities. For sure. So really take the time to listen to your inner voice. Practice that pause. Can make it important to connect to who you used to be, to who you want to be. Healing that inner child. Healing childhood wounds, relationship wounds. That's hard for a lot of us to do. Especially if you're on the spectrum like I am. We have a tendency to ruminate with those thoughts and those emotions. And that can make it very difficult to heal from it, because it's always coming back up in some way, shape, or form. But it is possible. It may be a slow process, but it is possible. All right. Now we're going to pull from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck. Let's see. Last time we got abundance, creation, and vanity. We are all meant for success, but success is different for everyone. That's very important to remember. Don't compare your success to someone else's success. Yes, we are all on a journey, but my journey isn't the same as yours. Yours isn't the same as your neighbor's. We're all on a different journey. So don't judge your success based off of somebody else's success. Healing is important so that you can be prepared when opportunities present themselves. No matter whether that's relationships, community, jobs, relocating, whatever it may be. The more we heal, the more we reconnect with ourselves, the better prepared we can be for when those changes do come. All right. Chakra Wisdom Oracle. Two came out, but one fell on the floor. That's way too many. Despondence, isolation, service, and growth. We're not going to keep those because that's too many, but I did want to acknowledge them at least. Despondence is what fell on the floor. Enlightenment. Growth on the bottom of the deck. Impasse on the top of the deck. Growth and enlightenment. With growth comes enlightenment, vice versa. With enlightenment comes growth. All right, let's see what they have to say. We'll read enlightenment first. Topaz. If I seek peace, I must embrace my fears. The legend. Topaz is a renowned spiritual teacher. People travel to hear his wisdom. He is journeying up a mountain to seek private counsel with the great servant when a young boy stops him. The boy asks, if enlightenment is to be found in my own mind, how do I get there? The moment before he disappears into the mist, Topaz replies, through your fears. Inspiration. At this time, your journey is more important than your destination. Remember, if you face your fear, you will grow stronger. Relief awaits. Personal inquiry. My thoughts always drive my choices. How can I use my thoughts to heal myself? Key ideas. Path to enlightenment. The reluctant sage. Taking time alone to connect. Trusting your intuition. Needing solitude. Time for reflection. Keywords. Support, courage, and confidence. Have the courage. Have the courage to heal. Have the courage to reflect on the fears that are preventing you from healing. Interesting. I think that's the first time I've ever said something like that. All right, growth. Grass. Your message is best expressed when you are uniquely you. The legend. Grass is excited. He is ready to tell his best friend Weed that he is gay. But Weed reacts negatively, and it is the first of many judgmental encounters for Grass. For years, he is turned down for jobs, and even when he applies for an apartment, Grass fights for the right to live where he wants and wins. But soon after he moves into his new apartment, someone breaks in and attacks him. In the hospital, his loved ones gather, sharing stories of who Grass was to them. He dies, leaving behind a legacy of love and courage. The inspiration. Grass says, break away. It may be time for a change of scenery. Visit a foreign country, embark on a new enterprise, or learn a skill. Most importantly, grow. Key ideas: taking a stand, living your truth, lack of safety, clashing values, teaching by example. Key words: warrior, peace, and courage. Have the courage to embrace who you truly are. Have the courage to work through your fears so that you can grow and heal and walk your path authentically. Your path for success. Going back to angel number 1818, meant for success. Success, purpose, change, prosperity, life path, and transformation. The more we learn, the more we grow. And the more that we grow, the more that we can heal. And the more that we heal, the more we can help others heal. To quote, I think it's Spiritual Savage that says it. You grow, I grow, we grow together. I heal, you heal, we heal together. And when we do all that, we can work together in harmony. All right, now we'll pull from the Animal Allies deck. Last time we got Vulture. And I actually forgot to bring my drink over here. So let me go get my drink real quick. I totally just knocked my incense out of the incense burner. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, cool. Good. It wasn't burning anymore. I made a mess with the ashes, but at least I didn't make a fire. All right. So last time we got Vulture. Let's kind of review over what that said. Community care, rebirth, purification, soaring above the fray, taking risks, belief in self, wisdom, making use of what is readily available. All right. Animal allies, birds. All right, so just going over our angel numbers. 2, relationships. 7722, ask for help. 3111, be prepared. 1818, meant for success. With the celestial insights, we got yes, reconcile, and healing. With our affirmations, we got divine timing, contentment, examine your surroundings, up and downs, communication, connection, growth, and enlightenment. From our angels of abundance, we got declutter, face your financial fears, donations, tithing, and charitable work. One more shuffle. That's way too many. Robin, toucan, ostrich, Blue Jay, Dove. Actually, just the other day, I found my stash of old feathers from where, when I was still out on the road, I was collecting feathers. And I have several bluebird and blue jay feathers in that collection. Maybe one of these days I'll show you guys. Birds are spirit messengers. Predominantly, people see the cardinal as a messenger from spirit, but in reality, it's all birds. That's still way too many. Turkey. Yeah, that's way too many. All right. We just want one. What the crap? Let me shuffle again. Meant for success. Be prepared. Ask for help. Relationships. Starling. It hasn't been that long since we got that one. Stork on the bottom of the deck. Pretty sure it's the first time we've gotten that one. And cockatoo on the top of the deck. It hasn't been that long since we saw the cockatoo either. The colors of this starling are just beautiful in this card. Pinks and blues and greens and yellows. Beautiful colors. All right. Starling. Starling superpowers. Sharing talents with others to create something new. Being socially active and energized by groups, corporation, shape-shifting, adaptability. Starling wisdom. Greatness can come from working together. Everyone has a note to contribute to the group sing-along if you let all voices be heard. When Starling appears, be aware of the subtle nuances that make everyone a detail in the big picture. Claim your space within the group, but take care not to overpower others. Starling wants you to know, community is important, but your first duty must be to yourself. If you've been feeling alone in a room full of people, that's okay. You can trust that those feelings shall pass. So very much lining up with what we've talked about already. You know, embracing community, embracing the people that are around you, you know, understanding that we all play a role in the bigger picture. And then we got Stork, which is right beside Starling in the book. Stork superpowers. Dedication, maternal instincts, feminine energies, new ideas, adventurous spirit, the ability to uplift and inspire, removal of blocks. Stork wisdom. Taking a deep dive into understanding what makes someone tick is a valuable endeavor. But sometimes you just need to accept that humans are complicated and let it be a mystery. When Stork appears, find ways to awaken your inner artist, give birth to a new creative project, or go on a fun adventure. Reflect on any creative blocks that help shift stuck energy. To help shift stuck energy. Stork wants you to know you can do anything you set your mind to. You get to choose where to flow your energy. We were talking about that at the beginning of the video, being aware of what kind of energy you put out, what kind of energy you surround yourself with. All right, and then we got cockatoo. Cockatoo superpowers. Vocalizing personal truths, cutting unhealthy emotional ties, respect, family, navigating tough terrain with grace and ease, playfulness, inquisitiveness, and fancy footwork. Cockatoo wisdom. Life is full of puzzles. Natural curiosity and adaptability will help with figuring out any missing pieces. When Cockatoo appears, embrace what makes you unique. Know that things are taking shape for you right now. Cockatoo wants you to know your ability to stand out in a crowd and rally those around you is a great strength. And if you feel like this doesn't resonate, take a deeper look at times you've shown leadership and give yourself recognition for skills you may be overlooking. Didn't I talk about that earlier? About embracing the things that you're good at, not letting other people's opinions affect how you view yourself. If I didn't say it then, I'm saying it now. All right, now we're going to pull from the Wandering Heart Oracle. Last time we got Silver Lining, Redemption, and Mourning. I'm starting to get sleepy. 55:55 when I looked on the timer. It's crazy to think that I'm getting sleepy this early, but it is what it is. Embracing the changes instead of not embracing them. All right, Wandering Heart Oracle. No, remembering that it's a process. Don't expect things to happen overnight. We talk about it here a lot. Setting small goals and accomplishing those smaller goals will lead you to accomplishing the bigger goal. Whatever changes are happening, try to find the positive in those changes, which may not be hard to do, but sometimes it is hard to do. Knowing that and believing that everything happens for a reason. All right, Wandering Heart Oracle. Fall back. It has not been that long. Look at that. Free expression. Embrace your individuality. Very much lining up. Look at that. Redemption. We just put both of those back. Wow. That's crazy that those came right back out. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this video and see for sure. Redemption, fall back, and free expression. The Fool on the bottom of the deck, underneath that, and then Autopilot on the top of the deck. Whoa. Let me put these over here. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Okay. We'll start with free expression, which is number 16. Courage is one hell of a virtue. Freedom warrior. By pulling this card, you are being asked to remain faithful in your purpose and to hold yourself accountable by following through with the heavy matters that are on your heart. Now is the time to step out into the world in the exact form that your spirit yearns. Your mission looks considerably different than the majority of others. Anyone who is set up to go against the grain will inevitably face loneliness. So do not feel ashamed when you go through bouts of seclusion. The influence that you have over those who look up to you and confide in you holds weight. You are being divinely escorted and assisted. Find peace in your body. Find peace in your mind. Power your way out of the never-ending obstacles. Be who you want to be. Easier said than done, I know. But overthinking can be damaging to the soul. What was I talking about earlier about ruminating, overthinking about things over and over and over again and keeping yourself in that place of stress and anxiety? Surely you are fighting a necessary battle, or you are fighting a necessary fight. Apprehension cannot help you here, although it can serve as a safeguard in some cases. Embrace who you are evolving into. Do not apologize for standing firm. If you are currently unfulfilled with who you are, take this time to find yourself. Find a reason to be happy. Make the necessary changes to feel free. What was I talking about earlier about allowing yourself to heal? Making changes, letting go of people, places. Oh my goodness. People, places, and things that no longer serve you. Decluttering your world, your mind, your heart. All right, and then we got Redemption 27. You've come a long way. Persevere. Opportunity and independence. Abundance is your birthright. The sooner you align, the sooner you receive what is yours. Everyone plays life differently, but some logically, some spontaneously. Some are guided by emotion. But when you're delusional enough to believe it, you just might get it. The harder you fight and the more you speak up for yourself, the easier all the right doors will begin to open. In the end, you find yourself in the exact position you deserve to be in the exact setting you dreamed about. You are jaded, there's no question, but soon enough, you'll prove yourself and everyone else wrong. You'll arrive and appreciate what it took to get here. The old games don't excite you anymore. Regret isn't your main concern lately. You grow out of the what ifs because you have no other choice but to move on and be better than before. You shield yourself for your own sanity. You understand why you need isolation. You're ready to step into the shoes of the highest version of you. Redeem yourself. It's time to redeem yourself. Express yourself freely in whatever way that is. Whether it's the clothes you wear, the words you speak, the people that you choose to love. Redeem yourself for all the decisions that you made for other people. Seek redemption in the form of healing and loving yourself for exactly who you are and not for the mask that you were wearing for the world. All right, 35, fall back. Retreat, rest, rejuvenate, and repeat. Senseless devastation. Take a step back. Give yourself a moment to breathe and recuperate. Think about all the positives and negatives of your affairs. Are you able to exhale properly? Or are you too invested and caught up in connections that regularly leave you feeling bothered? You have to know when to pull your own card and put yourself in a timeout. This may be one of those moments. Emotionally unavailable, no more sweeping the water under the bridge. You don't stand in the way of fate. You've seen red flags that don't sit well with you. So now you reevaluate the circumstances. Very much going back to what I said when I said practice the pause. Really take the time to evaluate where you're at in your life, how you ended up there, what you want to be different, what you need to do differently in order to redeem yourself, to express yourself freely, to love yourself authentically with no regrets, no apologies, being authentically you. Self-love, self-care. That can be hard. That can be very hard to do. Especially, depending on what you've been through in your life. If you've been through abuse, if you've been through neglect, if you have some kind of PTSD or trauma that you're dealing with, that can, if you're a people pleaser, that can be very hard to accomplish. A lot of people don't realize how hard that really is because we're all different. We all have different struggles. All right. Now we'll pull from the Archangel of Fire Oracle. Last time we got 31 Metatron, Sacred Geometry, Sacred DNA, I don't really remember what the rest of his message was, but we'll look at it real quick. It's been a while. It's been too long, really. 31, Ancient Wisdom. There you go. His main message: you are crowned with the light of Source because you are the divine incarnate. Walk upon the earth as an angel, and life shall conspire to lift you up. Oh my goodness. It's happening. Wisdom is available to those who truly follow the integrity of their heart, who are authentically and unapologetically themselves. Free expression. Most definitely. All right. Archangel of Fire Oracle. I'm starting to get sleepy. 105:57 on the timer when I looked. We're almost done. I thought there was already one flipped over, but it's not. It's just upside down. And I'm going to fix it because that was him. That's the one that I just put back in there, and I put it in upside down. We're not answering that. We will let it go to voicemail. This is the first time we've gotten this guy. Jehudiel. 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 There's lizards. There's like some Aztec monuments back here. Let's see. Ooh, there's even a face. There's even like images in these stones down here. Can you see that? Number 32. Oh no. Look at that. Leadership and endeavor. I don't remember where we read it, but we read something about leadership. I really wish this eye would stop bothering me. All right. Message. I am assisting you with your spiritual endeavor. You are a natural leader. Stay true to your integrity. The angel of figureheads, Jehudiel's name means laudation of God, and he helps us to feel qualified to step into our own guiding and leadership roles. Like his image in the oracle, he is often depicted wearing a crown and carrying a three-pronged whip, representing the divine authority of the Holy Trinity. He is linked to the Sacred Heart, helping us to recognize our own Christ consciousness, so we may live heaven on earth and teach it to others. If you are in a position of authority, ask him to help you act with integrity at all times and to acknowledge that true power is the power of love, not the love of power. Let's see. My first recollection of his name was during a healing session I once had while on a retreat after starting a new position at work. With my eyes closed, I felt a powerful angelic presence beside me and clearly heard the name Jehudiel. I then had a vision of a golden crown being placed on my head. Like the indigenous Rapa Nui Eastern Island warrior in his card, This archangel is the patron of all who work in some field of endeavor. His crown symbolizes the reward for spiritual labors as an advisor to all who hold positions of responsibility and authority. He watches over kings, queens, presidents, judges, and others in positions of power, ensuring they still remain true to God's work. He is also known as the bearer of God's merciful love. Wow, that was pretty deep. I'm just making sure there's not anything over here. All right. So, stepping into your power, whatever kind of power that is, whether it's a position of power, your own personal power of free expression, redemption, embracing your power, knowing that we all have spiritual power within us. All right, now we'll pull from the animal spirit deck. Then we'll have the herbal astrology and Mary Magdalene, and we'll be done. This is the first time we've been able to do a full pull in a while. Last time with the animal spirit deck, we got zebra, elk, rabbit, crow, and shark. A lot of green out here, very much lining up with the heart chakra affirmation we got at the beginning. The lizards that are on his card are green. We got green for growth. They don't call those things lizards, and I'm trying to think of what they're called, and I'm drawing a blank right now. But they call it salamander. Salamander. Yeah. Those images in the stone, hidden messages. You know, we talk about it here a lot, paying attention to the different signs, symbols, synchronicities that come into our lives that, you know, are trying to give us direction. I just heard that song, Whip It. Whip It Good. He's got that whip. You know, if you're going through a journey where you feel like you're getting whipped into shape, maybe you need to whip yourself into shape. If you are in the position of power or authority, don't take advantage of that position. All right. Animal Spirit Oracle. Let's try for just one, please. It rarely... Oh, look at that. The Cosmic Egg. Perfect. Cosmic Egg. We got Nightingale on the bottom of the deck. Octopus on the top of the deck. Nightingale. Singing your true song. Free expression. That's a strong message out here today. When you embrace who you are authentically and naturally, be prepared for success to come your way. All right, Cosmic Egg. That is a spirit card. Let's see. Completion, harmony, the infinite within. The Cosmic Egg is the final card in the journey of the Animal Spirit deck, and it represents the unfolding of cosmic consciousness. Do you see that sun get really bright through the window? Let me turn this light off. Do you see how bright the sun got? It's starting to go down. This state emerges after we have tread the path for quite some time, and through self effort and grace, we experience self realization. A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self limiting beliefs are lifted. When the essence of the cosmic egg has not been activated, we may feel as if we'll never get there, or that we travel alone, disconnected from others. Even if our encounter with this card is brief, appearing as a momentary glimmer or flash of interconnectedness, its potent energy stays with us. The cosmic egg is a remedy for the fragmentation of modern life. It's through the power of this card that we are reminded of the cosmic contract written at the beginning. We hold on to life and life holds on to us. The journey is complete, but it does not end. The cosmic egg is connected to the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra. One of the aims of yoga and meditation practice is to channel energy from the base of the spine upward toward the crown. Each of the 6 lower chakras plays an important role along this journey. And once the final epic center of consciousness is activated, it is said to radiate the light of a million suns. Going back to what we talked about earlier, we're all on a journey. We may not be on the same journey, but we're all experiencing a spiritual journey. It was 1:16:22 when I looked at the timer. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Whoa. I almost dropped that whole deck on the floor. All right, now we're going to pull from the Herbal Astrology deck. Last time we got 25, Cat's Claw, Purification. Purifying your mind, rejuvenating your mind, body, and spirit. Making room for growth, out with the old, in with the new. Letting go, no matter, that doesn't necessarily mean a physical things. That could mean thought processes. That could mean people, environments. When we learn to do that, when we learn to go with the flow, it allows us to grow. And when we grow, we receive enlightenment. And when we're able to do that, we're able to heal. We're able to redeem ourselves so that we feel free to express ourselves. All right, the Herbal Astrology Oracle. That didn't actually come out or flip over. That's unusual. Conduit is what showed itself. Psilocybin, commune. Nice. I totally just got my hair stuck on the tack. All right, psilocybin, 49, commune. Hasn't been that long since we got that. I think that's, it has been a while, I guess. It was back when I was still at the other desk. All right, 49, psilocybin. Commune. Communing with the sacred, connecting to otherworldly energy, remote viewing, regeneration through union, coming together with a tribe, finding cosmic family. Many cultures, such as the Maya and Aztec, have used psilocybin in rituals for over 10,000 years. The Aztec referred to the psilocybin mushroom as, I can't say it because it's in another language, meaning flesh of the gods. They believed the feathered serpent and creator deity placed the mushrooms on the earth as a gift. These sacred vision inducing mushrooms were and are revered by indigenous people as a gateway to the realm of the gods and a way to receive deep spiritual insight and inspiration. Excuse me. When Spanish missionaries recorded these practices, they deemed the ceremonies to be devil worship. Myra Sabina, a renowned Maztec, held all-night mushroom ceremonies while in a deep trance state to commune with God and heal the sick. She called the mushrooms holy children. When she was 7 years old, she discovered the magical effects of the mushrooms. She ate them and found herself in a realm with lots of children who talked to her and played with her. Myra would hear a beautiful supernatural voice that would direct her healing, explain the nature of life, and teach her the language she spoke during the ceremonies. She called herself the interpreter, the one who reads the sacred spirit language and transcribes it for others. Modern day research shows that psilocybin produces substantial improvements in anxiety and depression symptoms, increasing a sense of well-being and overall quality of life. Los Niños Santos have come to tell you that you have arrived at your place of power. They are beacons of light on earth and offer psychic healing on a collective level. They are asking you to tune in and commune with the ancestors and powers that be to further develop your power. Psilocybin floods our body with light codes, loosening the knots we've volunteered to protect through the journey of life. Don't resist the profound teachings. Relax into the higher mind as you commune with its loving awareness. As you find a home within communion with others and experiences that support you, connect to nature and the extensive community of energies that are lovingly there awaiting your conscious arrival. Commune with the spirits and channel the wisdom provided with sure-footed spontaneity. It was 1:22:52 when I looked at the timer. So, I mean, just in case you don't know what psilocybin shrooms are, those are trippy shrooms. That's nature's version of LSD. I've never actually done them. I've always wanted to do them, but I've heard that they can offer a lot of not only physical, mental, and spiritual benefits. Oh my goodness. All right. Now we're going to pull from the Mary Magdalene Oracle and we'll be done for the day. Last time we got the true human. I am fully human and fully divine. All right. Mary, Mary, full of grace, what advice can you give us today? Very reflective energy out here today. Really taking the time to reflect. Who are you? Who are you? Oh my gosh, I just saw the scene from Alice in Wonderland where she meets the caterpillar and he's blowing the smoke in her face and he says, "Who are you?" And she says that she doesn't know who she is. The second power, I trust my soul desires. Soul work on the bottom of the deck, I'm in service of love. And the heart, I carry a cathedral within me on the top of the deck. All right, the second power, which is on page 4, the very beginning of the book. I trust what my soul desires. According to legend, Mary crossed the Mediterranean Sea to the south of France on a ship without sails after Christ's crucifixion in order to escape Roman persecution. 2 other women named Mary were on the ship with her, as well as a little girl named Sarah. Some legends suggest that Sarah was Christ and Mary's daughter. I've always imagined that Mary felt anguish having to leave ancient Israel, the land where she met and loved and lost Christ. What the ego wants is real and powerful, and also part of what it means to be human. We're meant to feel the exquisite suffering of not always getting what the ego craves. We cling to the desires of the ego, most often not even realizing that it's the ego that's driving us to crave so desperately. Christ explains the creation of the ego so perfectly in the Gospel of Mary. Matter gave birth to a passion, which has no image because it derives from what is contrary to nature. A disturbing confusion then occurred in the whole body. Quoting Mary chapter 3, verses 10 and 11. Matter, meaning our flesh, our beloved body, gives birth to a passion, the ego, which has no eternal lasting image like that of the soul. This passion, this ego, is contrary to nature because it seeks to control the flow of energy. The ego doesn't want to die. The ego is terrified of change, and the ego wants life to unfold according to a chronological time frame. What were we talking about at the beginning of the video about, going with the flow and expectations and goals and all that? Very much connected to that. And this is necessary because if we didn't have this passion, this ego, we wouldn't be able to function here while human, while embodied. The soul needs the ego. Our work here is to discern when it's the ego that's leading, when it's the ego that's clinging to an outcome, and then, with as much mercy as possible, help release the ego's grasp so that the soul can return to its stance at the helm of our life. We want the soul to lead us, and that's often terrifying because the soul is constantly leading us towards what's new, what's next, and what has never been done before. The soul wants us to be fully present because transformation only happens in the present tense. What have I been clinging, the soul voice meditation, what have I been clinging to or trying to control? I think that's a very good way to end this message today. Be true to who you are. If you don't know how to do that, take the time to learn how to do that. Take the time to heal, to reconcile with the person that you're meant to be that might have gotten lost along the way. Embrace the challenges as they come and know that each and every one of them is an opportunity to learn about yourself, to learn about the world around you, and to grow. And in reality, that's what we're all here for, is for growth, spiritual growth. All right, I'm going to end it there. As always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it could have on yours. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.